Throughout my entire life, I struggled massively with finding what a healthy relationship would look like so that I could model my future relationships around that idea. I didn't grow up with a healthy parental relationship to model my relationships around. My parents didn't get married, they didn't have a healthy relationship dynamic, and they split up with each other when I was at a very young age. I also had absolutely no outer family to model my relationships around either. My dad's side of the family abandoned him when he was very young, so I don't know any of those guys. And my mom's side of the family, we have very strained relationships with. So as a young man, where was I supposed to go to model my relationships? And that left me with the internet. And this is becoming more and more common as the family unit is consistently under attack by the government, societal structures, so on and so forth. The problem with the internet is there is major traps that a lot of men fall into, and they end up modeling their relationships around very unhealthy ideas. Things like the Dan Blazarian lifestyle, where, you know, you've got this top G sat on a yacht with 30 models in their bikinis. Or you've got other guys whoring out their girlfriends, putting their tits in the thumbnails, recording videos of them doing squats in a gym and putting it on their Instagram stories, so on and so forth. Is driving other men to lust towards your girlfriend really what a healthy relationship looks like? Or is driving young men to want to lead the life of juggling multiple women while you're on an awesome yacht really what life has to offer in terms of a deeper sense of purpose? Well, just as easily as I could have fallen into one of those traps, I actually fell down a much more wholesome pathway, thanks to my autistic video gamer sort of background. Now, I want you guys to bear with me here because I'm about to storytell on how I used to watch PewDiePie when I was younger, and it's going to seem very weird, but it's going to make a lot of sense to you shortly, okay? I used to absolutely love PewDiePie's videos. I watched every single daily upload from PewDiePie when he was doing his gameplay videos. His Lucifer series when he used to play Amnesia. He did a little bit of Minecraft here and there. That was very exciting. He played all sorts of games, but he would upload every single day, and I watched every single one. I was such a massive PewDiePie fan. The Walking Dead game as well, that was an awesome series. And because I was such a big fan of PewDiePie, and I was so invested in the gameplay videos that I would watch of him, I was also interested in his life. And this is where I started to learn about his relationship with Marzia. PewDiePie, who I'm now going to refer to as Felix, Felix and Marzia met when Felix was very early on in his success. Obviously, we all know now who PewDiePie is. He's one of the most dominating figures on YouTube. At one point, he was the #1 subscribed channel. But when they both met each other, Felix had no such levels of success. And they actually met each other through Felix's work. Marzia would watch Felix playing Amnesia. From there, they started talking on Skype video calls, and they fell in love with each other. And then they managed a long-distance relationship. Felix was from Sweden, and Marzia was from Italy. They managed this long-distance relationship, which is far less than ideal, because they really loved each other. They were doing these gay video calls on Skype, they were making songs for each other, they were doing all this very cute relationship stuff. The sort of stuff that you see in films, you know, in movies. But more importantly, they were juggling this long-distance relationship with the idea that they would meet at some point in the nearish future. Felix was working a part-time job, I believe, at a hot dog stand. I'm sorry if I'm revising a bit of history here. And this is when he decided to go all in on his YouTube channel. After a few months, he started to get some really good results, and he started to get enough money to actually meet Marzia in real life. And that's exactly what they did. They met. And they continued to fall deeper and deeper in love with each other. Then Felix started absolutely blowing up in popularity. He was gaining hundreds of thousands of subs. He was getting tons of views on all of his videos that he was uploading every single day. And along this journey of riding to the top was Marzia, playing her supportive role, the ride or die energy. And the reason why I pointed out that when they met, Felix didn't have all of the results he wanted is that I feel like that's the most beautiful thing about it. Their love and attraction for one another was despite of the fact that Felix didn't have shit at this point. And I think that's always the best case scenario, a day one girl who rides with you while you don't quite yet have the results you want. Fast forward to now, they're married, they have a kid, they live in Japan together, they have a healthy relationship dynamic. And Felix is unironically a Chad now. Like, when I used to watch him, no offense, but he was like a soy gamer. You know, he would play fucking Amnesia, he would go, "Ah!" He had fucking twig arms, much like how I did. He'd play a substantial amount of video games. He probably wasn't looking after his body, his fucking diet or anything. He's literally a Chad now. Look at this picture. I just think that is so awesome. And I've always looked at those two, always looked at their relationship and found so much inspiration from it. That's exactly what I want out of my relationships in my life as well. And I'm so thankful that I had that relationship to model my relationships around, rather than falling into the trap of trying to model my relationships around very unhealthy relationship dynamics with fucking narcissists. And for their relationship to work, they both had to sacrifice. They had to do the long distance. They had to commit to each other despite not having all of the sexual gratification from being in the same room as each other just yet. And they had to also keep their egos in check when they started to get some really sick results. That is fucking based. Juggling multiple women and using your girlfriend to get clicks and engagement on social media is not based. Felix and Marzia is exactly how I've modeled my relationships in my life. And I think that's proven to be very successful because I now have a relationship with a girl which has very similar origin stories to Felix and Marzia. It's almost as if your thoughts and what you decide to model your life after actually manifests itself into reality. So you watching this right now, why don't you decide to model your relationships around healthy dynamics rather than narcissistic psychopaths on social media? If you want to learn how to make money online from the comfort of your bedroom or traveling the world with your laptop, you can join over 500 of my students doing exactly that right now. And as you can see on the screen, we're getting excellent results inside of my academy. Check the links in the description right now. Take care, boys.